What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and it is time for your weekly hype video, and we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, who are about to welcome the Chicago Bears in the Lincoln Financial Field as we look to go to 10-1 on the season and improve to the league's best record. So what we're going to do today is go through the top 10 things, top 10 keys, top 10 battles, matchups, whatever you want to call it, that I'm looking forward to for this game, as well as my MVP predictions. So first thing is first, at point number 10, it is the Alshon Jeffrey revenge game. And by, if you've ever seen Alshon Jeffrey in an interview and stuff like that, I'm not gonna lie, the dude seems stoned out of his mind every time they talk to him. You would look at him like this guy doesn't care, but it's just his demeanor, and it's a very good balance with what we currently have with our locker room. Because, Alshon Jeffrey very much, it's all reports sounded like he left Chicago because he wanted to get paid that wide receiver 1 money, decided to not go to the Vikings for bigger money, come to Philly to play with Carson Wentz, and he's the utmost of a team player. So I'm not so sure about the stigma there, but so many Bears fans. This is a revenge game. Maybe not so for, like I said, maybe not so much just for Alshon particular. I bet he wants to have a nice game. But this is more so for the Eagle fans, because no matter what you saw, I saw it in my videos a lot. Salty Bears fans saying, oh yeah, there's Alshon. Just wait for him to be hurt half the year, and yada this and that. Alshon has been awesome. Perfect signing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe our best signing out of all the big ones we made, be it Timmy Jernigan or Darby trade or anything like that. Alshon has probably been the best because he's made everyone else around him better, and he's really raising the level of our franchise quarterback, Mr. Carson Wentz. But the bottom line, Alshon definitely wants to have a big game against his former team, and I think he will, because the corners for Chicago aren't anything special, and with the way that the chemistry that Carson and Alshon have right now, they could very well be a big-time problem for that Chicago Bears secondary. Going to number 9 is that we need to continue to make the Link a very much a feared place. Right now, like I said, I've said this in countless videos, the Lincoln Financial Field, it should be regarded in the same mix of Arrowhead or CenturyLink, this is like the Seahawks, the Chiefs, maybe even Heinz Field, as like, you don't want to go to play there. I still don't really feel that stigma. I still don't think that, like, you find out a team has to go play in Philly. You maybe get the cold weather, but it's no one's like, the environment's that hostile and stuff like that, even though we're known to be that kind of fan base. But now, fever pitch and ultimate high, this could be the year. And with home field advantage throughout the playoffs still very much in play, let's get a preview here against Chicago, a team that we should beat, but I want to see just that home field advantage push us over the edge. I want to dominate them. I want them to be having false starts left, right, and center. I want their quarterback, their young rookie quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, Mr. Biscuit, struggling with his play call because it's so damn loud in that place. I feel like the Eagles fans still can do a better job at home, making that home field advantage truly mean something. I'm not being overly critical. I've been to Lincoln Financial Field a couple times, and it's been awesome experiences. But I'm just saying, from the stigma around the league, I still don't get that feeling that fans of, or just players not within the NFC East, really fear coming to Lincoln Financial Field, coming into Philadelphia. And in reality, they should. So let's see what happens and get that home field advantage experience. Going to point number 8 is that the Chicago Bears are a run-first team. They're pretty good at running the ball. Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen, they're a pretty talented 1-2 punch, a little smash and dash. But the Eagles' run defense is elite. This is a very bad matchup for the Chicago Bears. I mean, the Eagles' run defense didn't look elite, I guess you could say, last week, sorry, because Alfred Morris got almost 100 yards, didn't break 100 yards, but you still have to remind yourself that the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is better than the Bears offensive line, even though Tyron Smith, that interior of Frederick and Zach Martin, which is where most of the runs that Alfred Morris were able to break was going behind. I don't really think they're going to have the same kind of success, but you definitely need to watch it. Stopping the run is going to be priority number 1. I think that the Eagles' game plan, I can't see any other way that Jim Schwartz is approaching this game, not saying, if they're going to beat us, it's going to be through the arm of Mitchell Trubisky, because we're not going to let them run the ball. So it's a bad matchup for the Chicago Bears, because obviously they want to win. They're going to have to find a way to establish a run and get their best player, who's Jordan Howard, get him going. And I don't really see that happening. Going to point number 7, speaking of running backs, who in the hell is the Eagles running back 1 going to be? I know we have literally the most running back by committee. It seems like every running back's getting like 8 carries, but it's always one of those things. Who's going to be our legit running back 1? Because maybe unpopular opinion, I really do like the fact that our guys are unselfish and we're able to still get plenty of production from literally everyone, top to bottom. LeGarrette Blount's having decent games. He's doing his job. He's moving the chains. He's controlling the clock. Giajai's getting his explosive plays in. He's also, running between the tackles, controlling the clock. And then we have our explosive plays from Kenyon Barner and Corey Clement. Corey Clement, especially in the red zone, he's been unstoppable. But I really want to see one guy emerge. I want to see where, like, for example, if everyone's getting 8 carries, Blunt, Clement, Ajayi, and Barner. Obviously, Barner's not getting 8, but hey, who would have known by that first drive with the Dallas Cowboys? He got all the looks. If they're all getting 8, personally, I would like to see maybe a bunch of them get 4 or 5, and then one guy, BJ Ajayi, get 15 carries. I want to see one of these guys emerge as a lean back. I know running back by committee is great, but I still think having a true running back 1 is better, knowing that we still have all those guys behind him. I think that's what the kind of I want to transition to. Then again, everyone knows my least favorite coach on the Philadelphia Eagles, even though I do crap on Doug Pearson a lot, is Deuce Staley. I personally don't agree with the rotations. I thought he did a terrible job managing DeMarco Murray when he was here. I mean, that's another rant for another video, but I'm not a big fan of Deuce Staley. Personally, I would give Ajayi 15 carries and then split them amongst the rest everyone. So I know Ajayi probably the guy, he wants to get 20, 25, but with how well the rotation's working, it's going to keep our running backs fresh for the remainder of the season. But I still think there's room to have one clear lead back, and we want to see what we have in Ajayi. The fact that he keeps breaking off 50, 60, 70-yard runs once a game, and then he pretty much is non-existent. I know we're playing with the lead, but I want to see let's get a 100-yard rusher. Let's just do something like that, please, for my sake. But as long as we keep winning, I guess this is really much a nitpicking point. Going to point number 6 is Ronald Darby was absolutely phenomenal versus Dallas. We gave him the game ball. Let's see if he can be consistent. That's kind of the one thing that's hampered him throughout his career with the Buffalo Bills, where he'd have a big game and then he'd have a bad game. He'd have a big game and a bad game, a good game, an alright game, a bad game. The level of consistency for Darby has never really been there, and I want to see it because honestly, that game against Dallas was probably the best cornerback play I've seen since Asante Samuel's on the team. That's not even a hot take. That is clear facts. His tackling ability of a much bigger wide receiver in Dez Bryant, his coverage ability, interception. Darby's coming as advertised. We are looking like somehow, some way we're walking away with a steal right now. Shipping Jordan Matthews in a 3rd to Buffalo. Matthews, I still like him, but he's done nothing for the Bills. That 3rd round pick versus what we're getting from Darby, give me Darby every time, but I want to see that consistency, and it starts here against a somewhat easier matchup against the Bears. I can't even really name. Who's the Bears wide receiver 1? Dontrell Inman? Kendall Wright? Exactly. I want to see a shutdown performance from Darby. I want to see 2 back-to-back strong games to improve upon his consistency. Going to point number 5 is that the Chicago Bears offensive tackles aren't really that great. So does Derek Barnett, the league's hottest rookie edge rusher, continue to stay on fire? I think he does. He's leading all rookies right now in sacks, I believe, or he's tied with 4.5. I mean, like I said, so many people ask me on Twitter and stuff because of my one Derek Barnett draft video. Are you gonna admit you were wrong? And it's just, again, for like the 13th time I've explained myself. I didn't hate Derek Barnett. I hated going at defensive end in the 1st round. I guess the fact that I hated going defensive end, I apologize for that. It looks like it was a great move, even though he's being rotated in with Chris Long and Vinny Curry, who are both playing very, very well as well. And if we didn't have Derek Barnett, I think our defensive line play would still be fairly similar, but I'm very, very impressed with how Derek Barnett is playing. I love his motor. He might have the best motor on this defense. And yeah, I think he can continue his hot streak here against some fairly weak offensive tackles on the Chicago Bears. Point number 4 is Jake Elliott will play. Jake the Snake, Mr. Automatic from 50+. But is there a kicking controversy in the waiting? Caleb Sturgis was a pretty good kicker. He was good enough that we threw him on IR and didn't just release him. I don't know if we could have released him. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I don't want to be misquoted or anything like that. But essentially, it seems like we probably could have moved on from Sturgis, but he's still being held on just for a wait and see. So where Jake Elliott has been fairly inconsistent, maybe we go with maybe, just maybe, we go with something like a game changer. We get in the mind of Chip Kelly. We get Doug to gain about 70 pounds, put on a different color visor, and you take 2 kickers. Why not? Would it be that crazy to drop like our backup, like our 3rd string offensive guard, right? And have Jake Elliott and Caleb Sturgis. Caleb Sturgis kicks everything under 50, and we have Elliott kicking everything over 50. That could revolutionize the game with how much inconsistency there is around the league for kicking. Why not? I mean, let's be honest. It sounds absolutely absurd. They probably would never do it. But why not? If Sturgis, to his credit, is pretty much automatic from 45 and below. And it seems like that's where Elliott's struggling. So I'd have Sturgis kick all of our extra points and 45 and below. Anything else, you bring on the big leg. You bring on Jake Elliott. That could be something that's hilarious. And honestly, it could work. Who knows? Probably wouldn't happen, let's be honest. And I'm not drunk while I'm recording this. Going to point number 3 is that this is a must-win. This is an absolute must-win. You see it now as an easier game. It's like, oh yeah, we're playing the Bears. You know, we'll probably crush them. We can't overlook them. We're now in the spot where we need to get that wild, or not in the wild card, but we need to lock up the NFC East. And we need to lock up that bye and that home field advantage. Now, that's gonna be a video I'm gonna talk about, is locking up that bye. Do we really want that bye? For how not great we've looked after all of our bye weeks under Doug Peterson. That's for a different time and different place. But that home field advantage is going to be absolutely key. Get some of these teams that play inside domes. Get the Vikings who play in a dome. Get the Saints to play in a dome. If they have to come play Philadelphia at some point in the playoffs, get them out of their indoor environment and have them come play in the freaking cold. I mean, the Vikings probably are still somewhat used to it. It's only recently that they've been inside of a dome. But come on. Bring them. That is a big, big factor for the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at our competition in the NFC. What is the common denominator? They don't play in the cold. Make them come to Philly. That's an advantage for the Eagles. So this is an absolute must-win. No taking any team lightly anymore at this point. Point number 2 is maybe a good game from Carson Wentz here. Not the toughest defense he's going to go up and face. So this game here could very well help his MVP bid. For those that look towards stats, I could very well see a 4-touchdown performance from Wentz, the GOAT. So that's just, that's just my feeling on this one. I think Carson Wentz, hey, how about we don't run the ball 50 times? Maybe run the ball 30 times, which is still a well in balanced amount. Let's let our quarterback throw it in the red zone. You know, get him a couple more touchdowns here to help his bid and get those people that still say, there's no way you can't give the MVP to Tom Brady. No, it's Carson Wentz. And the last number point is I want to see a complete game from Doug Peterson after last week's horrendous start against the Dallas Cowboys. Last week's first half was pathetic. I want to see a complete game. I want to see domination from the get-go. I don't want to see another slow start like what we had against the San Francisco 49ers. Comparable team, you know, a team we're supposed to go in and crush. The Niners were in it. I mean, the weather was bad, credit, but I want to see a complete game from Doug Peterson. From the opening whistle to the final whistle, hopefully Big Dick Nick Foles is in. I want to see a complete performance. Doug kind of owes us one. He owes us complete performance for the trials and tribulations he had us going through the first half against the Dallas Cowboys. And last but not least, my MVP pick for this game, I'm going Alshon Jeffrey. I think Carson Wentz is going to throw the ball. I think Alshon is going to finish with about 90 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day as our Philadelphia Eagles drop, I would say, another 30 bomb, definitely in the category of a 30 bomb. But my biggest takeaway from this game for me really is to see Ronald Darby show some consistency and Doug Peterson coach a full game. So there you go, guys. That is my preview for the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Chicago Bears. Let me know what you guys feel about that game in the comment section below. Subscribe if you are hyped for the game. Like if you're also hyped for the game. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.